Whereas we go and say, hey, by the way, there's Seattle. You can see it right now with your camera. That's it. A picture says 1,000 words.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 mind-blowing conspiracy documentaries.
I had great trouble understanding why 24 Secret Service agents hadn't seen a man with a gun.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most fascinating documentaries that explore, or in some cases, expose various conspiracies. We'll be limiting this list to feature-length films, so multi-episode shows like The Family will not be included. Did any of these documentaries change your mind? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. The Social Dilemma.
Yeah, these things, you release them and they take on a life of their own, and how they're used is pretty different than how you expect it.
It's no secret that social media is bad for you, but we didn't know just how bad. The Social Dilemma is a very sobering documentary from Jeff Orlowski that expounds on the dangerous influence of your favorite social app. Whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or the app formerly known as Twitter, they all have the same goal: to keep you scrolling. What results sounds like something out of a conspiracy thriller, a world in the throes of phone addiction, political radicalization, mass amounts of misinformation, actual propaganda, and plummeting mental health rates. And there's no way out. Interviews with prominent social media experts detail how it all works, and it makes us want to go office space on our phones and computers.
I was the president of Pinterest. Before that, I was the director of monetization at Facebook for 5 years.
Number 9. Mirage Men.
Let's take one step at a time. You're looking at Richard Doty, the professional disinformer, trained to lie.
UFOs, the cornerstone of any great conspiracy theory. But what if UFOs themselves were the conspiracy theory? Stay with us. Mirage Men posits the possibility that the American government intentionally fabricates so-called UFO sightings. And why would they do that? Seemingly to draw attention away from top-secret military projects.
Doty found a lot of gullible people in the UFO community that would easily believe what he said.
One can't help but think of Area 51, the infamous Air Force facility that tests experimental aircraft in the Nevada desert. Mirage Men features extensive interviews with a former member of the United States Air Force Office of Special Investigation, which lends further credence to the film's thesis. It's a thought-provoking documentary about government cover-ups and manipulation, and really, what more can you ask for?
Now, Doty played a massive role in the perpetuation of the Roswell myth, many of the ideas prominent in the UFO subculture for 2 decades.
Number 8. JFK, the Smoking Gun.
Who killed President John F. Kennedy?
The policeman says, no, you cannot come in here. You cannot come in here.
And have these 2 experts finally found the smoking gun hidden in plain sight all along?
We've all been down the JFK road before. Even for those who don't often buy into conspiracy theories, the JFK assassination bears an intense and tantalizing interest. An Australian detective named Colin McLaren wrote a book titled JFK, the Smoking Gun, which argued that Kennedy was accidentally shot by an agent of the Secret Service.
Or was it more a deliberate attempt of a cover-up of what happened earlier that day in Dealey Plaza?
This book was then adapted into a film which blends investigative and ballistics work to uncover the truth behind the president's death. There are some interesting arguments here, and it's nice to see a new theory about the shooting that hasn't been covered again and again. It all adds another layer to the enduring mystery.
Hickey picks up the AR-15 to return fire and flicks off the safety. As the follow-up car lunges forward, he loses his balance and accidentally pulls the trigger.
Number 7. The Great Hack.
These digital traces of ourselves are being mined into a $1 trillion a year industry.
Let's head back to Facebook because that site is just a trove of conspiracies turned true. In 2018, a man named Christopher Wiley came forth and dropped a bombshell. A British consulting firm called Cambridge Analytica had been harvesting personal data from millions of Facebook profiles and selling this data to American political campaigns.
Like now I'm the dad who reads the privacy policy and says, no, you see here, they read your messages. Are you okay with that?
The Great Hack explores this scandal in great depth using interviews with prominent figures, including a former employee of Cambridge Analytica and journalist Carol Cadwallader. It asks us to consider notions of privacy in the digital age and informs us with startling clarity that yes, our identities are absolutely for sale.
There's no way to go off the grid. So you have to understand how your data is affecting your life.
Number 6. The Devil We Know.
How long do they wait to take pictures?
I'm sure they wanted to get that one taken right away because
there's a chance that I might not make it.
That's what they said.
This shouldn't come as a big surprise, but corporations do not have our best interests at heart. The Devil We Know, it's all about perfluorooctanoic acid, a dangerous compound used in a wide variety of products. If listening about industrial compounds sounds boring, rest assured it isn't. The documentary's argument is told through the lens of Parkersburg, West Virginia, a small town that once housed a DuPont facility.
Just thinking about, I need an answer. You know, I need to know what's going on. I need to know why this happened.
DuPont would dump the industrial acid into the local water, killing cattle, deforming children, and giving both locals and workers cancer. It's a fascinating if terrifying story about corporate negligence, the intentional concealment of dangerous information, and the lengths that companies will go to gain more profit.
In their negotiations around this, they said that they were going to use his land for non-hazardous waste. But very quickly, he noticed changes in the water.
Number 5, behind the curve.
So Mark called and said that he was a member of the Flat Earth Society.
Yep.
And I said, oh, Mark, what are you on to now?
The world has seen a sharp rise in flat earthers in recent years, and most people blame the internet for that. Behind the Curve explores the recent phenomenon, delving into the belief itself, how it spreads, and the way that people find community through their fringe opinions. The film contains a lot of memorable characters and hilarious situations, like when the believers conduct tests to prove that the Earth is flat, only to end up proving the exact opposite.
We don't see you, Enrique. Lift up your light way above your head. Interesting.
But the documentary also has a heart and never sets out to demonize its subjects. Rather, it takes a rather sympathetic approach and asks the viewers to consider how it is they got to that point in the first place.
I caught his smile when I was talking about the planetarium part, and he wasn't buying it. It's in his head. He may research it, may not. That's what the billboard's for. We're just trying to put the seeds in people's heads.
Number 4, unacknowledged.
15 years later, Dr. Stephen GREER opened his archives of documents and interviews.
There are about 1 billion alien documentaries out there, but none quite like Unacknowledged. That's thanks to the presence of Stephen M. GREER, a prominent ufologist who founded the Disclosure Project back in 1993. The goal of this project was to get the truth about extraterrestrial life and UFO sightings out of the secret of American government.
It says point blank, when there's a very strong piece of evidence, we need to set up something so we release a certain type of balloons and film it so that it will look like that.
Unacknowledged convincingly presents GREER's findings through never-before-seen documents and witness testimonies, including briefings with Pentagon generals and even the director of the CIA. It has a degree of authority and legitimacy that other alien documentaries do not, and it may just convert a few non-believers to the cause.
This is arguably the most important UFO document in history. The irony of it is, I couldn't disclose it.
Number 3, the War on Democracy.
Se acabó el caciquismo de aquellos caudillos adeptos, esa falsa democracia de las élites en Venezuela se acabó.
Coming from filmmakers Christopher Martin and John Pilger, The War on Democracy makes a very uncomfortable thesis. With fantastic archival footage and absorbing narration, it posits that the United States has secretly but directly intervened in Latin American politics. Along the way, the country has often undermined the democracy of others for its own self-interests. Through the manipulation of politics and even the direct overthrow of democratically elected leaders, American intervention has led to a full-blown human rights crisis. The War on Democracy explores how larger and more powerful nations often mold the less fortunate, and often for their own selfish gains.
Se suspende de sus cargos a los diputados principales y suplentes a la Asamblea Nacional. Se destituyen de sus cargos ilegítimamente ocupados al presidente y demás magistrados del Tribunal Supremo de Justicia.
Number 2, ICARUS.
I am estimating that I would have tested him 50 times, 50.
You tested Lance 50 times and never caught him.
Correct.
A fast-paced and wickedly exciting documentary, ICARUS plays out like a Hollywood thriller. Filmmaker Brian Fogel hopes to explore the concept of doping in professional sports, so he consults with the head of Russia's anti-doping agency, Grigory Rodchenkov. As their friendship blossoms, Rodchenkov reveals that Russia has a widespread doping system in place and that the country continuously cheats in the Olympics.
What did Russia have to do with the hiding blood passports of all the athletes?
Let's talk in my office.
These revelations allegedly put Rodchenkov's life in danger, and the filmmakers are forced to protect him from those hoping to silence his revelations. With the reveal of shocking truths and an absorbing storyline, ICARUS is a documentary that proves real life can be as exciting as fiction.
I know that I could change the past telling the truth. But would you like telling the truth? You will be annihilated.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Citizenfour.
You may be the only one who can prevent that, and that is by immediately nailing me to the cross, rather than trying to protect me as a source.
When it comes to conspiracy documentaries, there's just no beating Laura Poitras's Citizenfour. This was the codename given to Edward Snowden, the famous whistleblower who uncovered a global surveillance program. This documentary is shot in an unconventional manner, with Poitras sitting in a hotel room with Snowden and journalist Glenn Greenwald.
Well, I'm hoping to, start publishing within like a day or 2 days.
Okay.
As long as you're good with that.
Yeah. The first-hand account provides unique and intimate access into the unfolding story, as Snowden grapples with the revelations and the personal consequences that he will face for revealing them. The strong emotional connection is also bolstered by an exhilarating storyline, as Snowden hosts clandestine meetings, evades the law, and smuggles himself out of the country. It's a thriller with a heart, and it's all unbelievably real.
If all ends well, perhaps the demonstration that our methods worked will embolden more to come forward. Citizen.
Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.